Imagine a world in which you can in any area of the city let go of your little daughter walking alone at night street, and you will be sure that there is nothing wrong with her, nothing bad will happen. Imagine the world where you don't lock your car when you go home, the world where you can borrow your phone to call looking dubious to a passerby and not worry that he will run away with it. Imagine a world where you are not afraid walk through a dark drug alley. I know that no drug addict would dare attack you, and even if you are in front of them, you will shake a wad of money. In a world in which no physical crimes against personality seems absolutely utopian and unrealistic. But what if I told you that it will come in 10 years according to estimates? This is exactly how everything will be in most cities in developed countries 2030. All the gopniks, rapists, bandits, and there will be other criminal elements. Stop one awareness, inevitability of punishment. After all, for 10 years, because of technology development on city streets, it will be impossible to do any physical crimes which would not be revealed, so that you would not, no matter how hard they try to escape from justice, you will be found with 100% probability. And you can do it. You can't do anything with this. Didn't think everything through carefully. Actions like robbery, theft, rowdy vandalism, kidnapping, and hooliganism within cities there will simply not be, perhaps physically. And today, I tell you, I'll explain in detail why. But no matter how future world safe from crime, first of all you should have personal financial security, and for this requires a good one in demand profession. But where to go now? The world is in a very unstable situation, feeling that all spheres are falling down. However, there is one that continuously it grows, and there is a constant shortage of personnel and high salaries, one of the most in demand professions. Log, and this is data scientist. You are just yourself. Look how many vacancies there are, and what they are salaries until the sun said. Data analysis and processing, including everything what is connected with artificial neural networks intellect. But looking ahead, I can assure that neural networks will play a little, whether not a decisive role in the creation safe future. Today, they are able to recognize the faces of wanted persons, criminals, to ensure that the driver did not fall asleep at the wheel, determine the presence of a virus in a photo of the lungs, and even Land Rovers, because specialist neural networks are in great demand today, and they are paid from 120,000 rubles a month, so that you too can become so in demand. I personally recommend going to a specialist data science training at Skill School Factory. On a 1-year course, you from scratch learn to program masterfully Python, create artificial intelligence, train neural networks, analyze data, and most importantly build predictive models that help businesses make the right decisions, data-driven solutions, and employers are ready for such skills. Very good paying. Skill Factory, convenient learning format that you can adjust it yourself for work or vice versa. Freeze if you are going somewhere, and to in general choose your own pace in every possible way, and also you will have a personal mentor who will help you and answer any questions. Teachers will teach you how to practice. Working in companies such as Yandex and Nvidia will do this on very high level, and the coolest thing is that Skill Factory helps students with employment. Read reviews about this online school on Google and on various independent sites to discard doubts. More information about the course Data Science you can find out at the link in the description. If you sign up for it soon time using the promo code TOP5, you will receive 45% discount on training. Currently, every year in the world at least 23 million burglaries, 7 million street robberies, and steal at least 3.5 million cars were victims. Rapes only according to official statistics become more than 700,000 women per year die at the hands of murderers, up to 500,000 figures, and terrible, but adjusted for the world population, it is means your chance of becoming a victim any of these crimes in the near future year is less than 1%. Your ancestors would have thought that you nothing threatens today. For every 100,000 of the world's population accounts for just under more than 6 murders per year. In the Middle Ages killed 5 and sometimes 12 times more. Paleolithic, judging by archaeological, died in the excavations of a violent death. Every third man, even in short-term level crimes in most civilized countries, is decreasing. In New York, murder rate in recent times 25 years fell by 85%. Scientists say that we live in times the so-called Great Decline crime. This is observed in many countries, the last 25 years a phenomena in which crime rate dropped by 50 and more than %. This was noticed initially American sociologists in their country after public hysteria of the 80s. Criminologists have discovered that crime almost all types are on the decline already by the beginning of the 2000s, registered by law enforcement officers, and we fix our victimization with logical according to surveys. Crime has decreased by more than 70%. Initially a phenomenon was considered purely American, but already by in the mid-2000s it became clear that the trend reducing crime affects everything. Developed countries dispute the reasons for this. The phenomenon is still going on. Human civilization did something right once crimes are decreasing, but what right now? There is about 20 hypotheses of varying levels of complexity explaining the decline in crime as economic development of countries, and increasing the number of police, and propaganda of a humane image in the media life, and so on. But when scientists start checking each of these hypotheses is tested for strength, it turns out that none of them explains the reasons for the decline in crime in some individual countries. Ended up today, there is only one strong one left, a hypothesis that no one can refute: this technological development of security tools that leads to what will happen, crime of a physical nature. And it's not getting caught every year, it's getting more and more difficult since then, since we started installing cameras, set up surveillance alarms, track geolocation mobile phones, and apply others. Innovations began to catch all criminals more and more often, but for how long will it last? This downward trend will continue. Is crime completely possible? Eradicate physical crime character? Can technological development accept such a challenge? The answer is yes, maybe within cities it's possible implement even today with existing technologies. Although it will be very expensive. The meaning is next we take and liquidate absolutely all blind spots in the city in general. Everything should not be on the street and square meter that would not fall into the lens of a video camera, and video cameras with good resolution, there is image clarity, and so that the attackers were unable to crime on the chosen street. There's always one camera to cover up with something. The camera must be within view, another or a friend should fall into the zone visibility, third, and so on, and actually everything is on the streets of such a city. It will no longer be possible to do anything. One physical offense which would not be revealed will not even help attackers. Carefully thought out plan. Let's say you live at one end of the city, went to commit a crime somewhere else and committed their atrocities there, after which successfully escaped outside the city after receiving a complaint to the police. She starts using video camera recordings track your entire journey which you made to the place, crimes in reverse order to your very house from which you came. Day they came out, and all the police were already with will accurately know your first name, last name, and appearance, and then as soon as you enter any other city and get there is a video camera connected to the lens to it, a neural network for recognition. Individuals who have been successfully for several years works worldwide will give a SPA signal, and a capture group will come after you. It seems such a simple idea to take everything away. Blind spots of the city and physical crime on the streets will disappear completely, and the state gradually will be able to recoup the invested resources thanks to saving mountains of money, which are constantly being spent. But protracted investigations of certain crimes, and this is a brilliant idea, came to mind in several countries at once, who have begun to implement this project is closest to the goal at this time. The moment has come to China, which has installed more than 200 million cameras on the streets of their cities, and in the next couple years is going to install another 450 million cameras. Are in second place with us. The United States of America are on their way, currently more than 50 million cameras. Russia is in third place, according to some sources. She is 13.5 million of cameras, following Russia in the top. Germany, Japan, and Great Britain are coming. Each of these countries has more than 5 million of cameras, so if the pace, there will be no increase in their number. Get rid of everything in the next 10 years. These countries will increase the number of cameras to such an extent that in their main cities there will be no blind spots left. You are there, and mass crime will begin to die out. Crimes are committed by repeat Offenders there are criminals who have already committed crimes, but they do it always just because every time hope to avoid punishment, but when they are sure what to avoid punishment is impossible to carry out, they won't commit a crime. But if they do then, they will immediately be isolated from society for several years. In this way urban crime will decrease to a minimum 98%. Unlike today, indicators, the remaining 2% will be those crimes that are committed in anger out of revenge, or in a state of passion when a person does stupid things even knowing that he will be punished despite the fact that video cameras will be on the streets. Commit crimes inside houses too. It will always be extremely problematic. It will be possible to find out who is how many entered one or another before. Nevertheless, before this period, there is a lot of work to be done, especially this one, a big country like Russia today, even in Moscow where there are hundreds of thousands of cameras. Personal observation remains enormous, a lot of blind spots. Nevertheless, even that it's quite serious now affected the crime of the city. Only imagine, thanks to cameras in Moscow compared to 2010, robbery attacks increased 5 times less, and the number of murders has have criminals cannot hide behind a mask. There's a neural network behind the helmet anyway, finds out since she recently became more smarter, and now knows how to recognize only by the face, but also by the silhouettes perhaps already from the gate in every way. In case such technology already exists, not so long ago, the Chinese praised that their country, the neural network recognizes 95% of people wearing masks, and accuracy recognition of completely open faces is not possible, brought to 99.5%. BBC journalists were convinced of. He personally did this as an experiment. Down your photo to the database wanted criminals and tried get lost in a city of 4 million police. He was grabbed within a few minutes. Moscow also has cool technology, facial recognition. Remember, I once talked about the fireplace service, which using a neural network, I could use a photograph person, find the address of his page in social network vContact. So here is the service closed, and the technology was provided to Moscow for $3 million. And since many cameras in Moscow connected now to this neural network, it turns out, so it takes a long time to be wanted criminal in the capital of Russia today. It's simply not physically possible if you police have a photograph of this criminal, and all because people in Moscow on average per day falls into the lenses of dozens of cameras. And now every year with their help several thousand are revealed crimes. But we are happy for Moscow. So what about the rest of Russia? Because it quite big has been operating in the country for several years. Safe City program, whose goal is to equip all cities Russia with video cameras, and want before cleaning all blind spots still work and work anyway. We have already been able to reduce the number of murders in the country compared to 2010, year almost doubled 10 years ago. From criminal acts in Russia was dying 42,000 people, and then now it's 22,700 people. Similar statistics available for citizens whose, as a result of illegal acts, seriously injured in 2010 year. This figure was over 50,000 people, and now it is 35,600 men. But also, since cameras with neural networks are now being installed en masse, the situation on the roads has improved noticeably. Number of accidents on them. Registered accidents over 10 years decreased by 27.3%, and the number of deaths in road accidents, new technologies, reduced by 39%. The number of corruption phenomena in the traffic police. If the driver violates the letter of fines, you can't bribe an objective person. Video camera or negotiate with the mouse. Errors are possible. If you don't agree, you have the right to appeal. If we don't stop, increase the base of video cameras in cities to until the blind spots are completely disappear. Then in 10 years, we will get a world where everyone can do it without fear for their safety, to walk at any time of the day and nights in any areas of your cities. You'll forget about picking up yours. You will never have a car again. Fasten your bike to a fence or to the castle pillar. You can forget your smartphone on the bench. Go away for a whole hour. When you return, you will find that no one is on the same bench. Don't dare take it. You will stop. Be afraid that someone will snatch it out of your hands. A handbag. Just imagine you can order delivery of parcels to your home, and ask the delivery person to leave parcel box near your door, so that she lies there until you go in the evening come back from work, and don't bring it in inside. You will be confident in everything 100 that no one on the street even thinks about. Many people will come to touch your parcel. They will even stop locking their houses when will go away on business. It will be a world where within cities, every person will feeling at home is funny, but cities that won't get one security system will be lost tourist flow, as tourists would prefer to refuse trips to those cities where there are blind spots. And this means that also because of this the race to eliminate blind spots will overtake all countries, and this security system can to extend the life of cities. There is a theory that the next 30 years, due to many care online professions and opportunities, people work remotely from their home cities will begin to lose interest. We will prefer to move into various villages far from the city noise. That is a massive organization. But if cities, unlike villages, will be offered unprecedented level of security, even with the departure of most professions there are still a lot of people online would prefer to stay inside the city. But a camera with neural networks can be provided safety not only from crime. For example, in the USA, they are testing a frame with it, which determines a person's posture. For example, if you feel bad, and you took a lying position in it, it's not a natural place for this. Rays will give a signal to the hospital to did you get medical help, or did you technology that allows you to combine metered access control temperature. If the camera determines what a person's body temperature is elevated, he is blocked from entering buildings and can infect anyone. Their construction sites are monitored by neural networks. Ensure that all workers wear helmets or to wear a vest, that a person is obliged to wear certain places, and if he took it off, it served immediately signal to management. Every year neural networks learn more and more new things, tricks, and who knows how many things are in our security they will be able to control in 10 years. But what about private life? Will such security measures lead to royal dystopia? The question really in a controversial matter. On the one hand, described technologies do not violate privacy, personal life, because the